right, I have 9 o'clock. I have word that Councilor Harden will not be able to join us this morning, so we will commence without her. And I will call this Public Safety Committee meeting to order at 9 a.m. on Friday, March 21st, 2021. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be conducted via remote participation. Audio, video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings will be posted on the city's website soon after posting. We will start with the reading and approval of the minutes from July 29th, 2020 meeting and the December 14th, 2020 meeting. Councilor Tyros.
I move that we waive the reading of the minutes and pass them as presented for July 29th, 2020 and December 14th, 2020 Public Safety Committee meetings.
I will second that. Can we have a roll call? Ms. Clerk?
We have done the attendance first.
Sure, please. We've got Councilor Tyros.
Present.
Councilor Cormier.
Councilor Harden absent. So for the minutes, Councilor Cormier,
Yes.
Councilor Tyros.
Present. Yes.
All right, minutes are accepted as printed. So our second item on the agenda, we've got department updates. And we start, please, with the building department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. We're at, we've issued 119 building permits so far this year, and our zoning board has been extremely busy with many appeals, mostly regarding livestock, as I'm sure everyone knows. A lot of our inspections are being done virtually. For the past, ever since City Hall closed, we've been doing them virtually, but I'm expecting that to end soon. When City Hall opens back up, we'll start going back into people's homes again. Our maintenance department has been busy rearranging and refurbishing offices. And our plan is to add some monitors in the meeting rooms soon for different presentations that go on. My administrative staff is volunteering at the PACC for the vaccination clinics when they're available. And they tell me that it's going very well over there. So I think that's something that everyone involved should be proud of. Currently, the project around here is to get 177 West Street to the ground. The mayor recently declared it a public safety hazard. We've awarded the contract and we're waiting on DEP approval for our non-traditional work plan. I'm still optimistic that we'll be able to get started on that project next week, but we do not have confirmation from the DEP as of right now. And you'll see in my summary that I have a comment about the application coming up in today's meeting, but I assume we'll talk about that when that comes up. And that's it for me, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you very much, Commissioner Jean. Next on our agenda is Public Health Department, but Sandra is in another meeting at the moment, so she was not able to join us. She did send us an update that we can put in the meeting minutes. Was there anything anyone wanted to discuss on the update she had passed out? No. If not, then we will move on to new screens. The next, which is Police Department and Animal Control.
Okay. Police Department, Dispatch, Animal Control, the shelter, and Civil Defense, they're all operating with within the budgets that were approved for the fiscal year. All of the departments have continued to respond to all service calls using the appropriate precautions and PPE and the governor's orders. So as we continue to make all the departments operate throughout this entire pandemic. Currently, we have 2 recruits in the Randolph Academy. They are 4 weeks in, doing well, and expect to be through their 20-week process in time for us to welcome them to the department towards the end of the summer. I did a comparison that I submitted in comparison to 2020. Most of the bigger calls that we have for accidents, offense calls, and arrests, they're all down, and you can imagine why these are occurring in the way they are. Accidents because there's not as many people on the road, not a lot of places to go to. Offense calls and arrests are down as well. People are just not interacting in the manner that they typically would be, and there's not a lot of places for people to go to actually misbehave. So the police department here, we're doing really well here at 200 Main Street. Our building is just about 6 years old, and I just wanted to acknowledge that Ray Burgard has done an exceptional job for us, keeping up with all of the buildings and grounds here at our station. He's done an exceptional effort and takes great pride in ensuring that our building over here looks fantastic. And I just think that Ray should really be acknowledged for how well we're doing and how well we look over here. The dispatch, we're still down a couple of dispatchers, and we're in the interview process currently. Myself, Chief Lagoy, and Jen Law, who's the dispatch communications director, have interviewed several individuals for the positions that are vacant. We just had one of our dispatchers submit a resignation, and he's going to be going to a different position that's a higher paying position, and we wish him well. So we're going to have another vacancy that we just thought we had just recently filled. So it seems like it's always seems to be a catch up. It's a very difficult position to actually work in communications. It's a very multitasking position. So you really need to have a very well-trained, high-quality individual in those positions. There's a lot of responsibilities from those seats. Animal control, we're doing very well with animal control. A lot of updates through this last year. And the very last thing that we're doing right now, and it seems to have a little bit of a delay, we had gotten approval for replacing the van that they were using because it was quite old and in disrepair. I didn't expect that we were actually going to have to consider the pickup truck as well, which is equally as old, but I didn't think it was in such tough shape. The van had already been appropriated funds for. It's just them putting it together throughout this COVID process is dragged on. We are told we're within weeks of getting that van, though I had just made a request that all of the communities that are actually being serviced by the animal control officers split the cost of replacing that second vehicle, so it's not a burden on us particularly. It's a shared cost for that second replacement. The civil defense is taking a very active role, particularly establishing a call center that's setting up the vaccinations for the PACC. There's a call center that's going on here at the police department, and we actually have had some updates to make our call center or our capabilities here at the Emergency Operations Center more effective. And this coming week, we're going to try to utilize some of the new technology that they actually have discovered, an ability to use separate locations besides the one that's right here at the police department. So it has to do with moving and using the internet to have your calls not necessarily be answered here, but we can have a portable unit to take our answering service abilities to another location. We're going to try that out with what's going on right here, and have 2 different locations to try it out. And then eventually we would be able to have an emergency operations center that's portable, which is fantastic, because if we happen to have had a situation that was right here on Main Street, we wouldn't want to set up an emergency operations center right here on Main Street. So it's definitely looking forward and making our system work as best as it possibly can. I did put forth, and I think it's attached, there's a decommission request for several vehicles that we have here. 2 of them are police vehicles, and one of them is the van that I talked about with the animal control. In trying to keep them in service, all 3 vehicles are beyond repair, and because of their age have significant body rot. And the recommendation is that they actually be scrapped. They don't have any future value to anybody except for a scrap type of a situation. I know there's a Class 2 motor vehicle dealer license application that is attached to the minute agenda. We've looked at the criteria that we are to check on with these applications, and there is nothing that would hold up that application from going forward as far as the police department is concerned. The individual's in good standing with us, and there's nothing that we should be aware of or be concerned of with that application going forward. So I would say the police department would say that would be a good application to be put forth. I believe that's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Chief Rex.
Any questions?
Councilor Tyrus?
No questions, Chief, but thank you to you and also Commissioner Jean, your guys that are helping out with the call center and the PACC vaccination site, and it's doing a really great job. I hear really good things about that whole process. Thank you.
I appreciate that very much. I'll extend your kind words.
All right, Chief Lagoy.
Good morning, everybody. I'll start out with a personnel status update. Of course, with my appointment to the permanent chief's position, we'll have some promotions at the fire department. They are currently being processed through civil service. Acting Captain Craig Osowski is going to be promoted to permanent captain, and Acting Lieutenant Patrick Foy will be promoted to permanent lieutenant. Captain Osowski was appointed a call firefighter in 1995, a permanent full-time firefighter in the year 2000, lieutenant in 2015. He worked as Group 3 shift commander, and also he spent about a year in the fire prevention and code enforcement office during his time as a lieutenant. Lieutenant Foy was appointed to the department as a permanent firefighter in 2004, and he's now been assigned as the Group 1 shift commander. Both of these men are experienced veteran firefighters. I have a lot of confidence in both of them, and they've performed very well in their acting positions over the last several months. We've also appointed one new permanent firefighter. He started work on February 22nd. His name's Daniel Quinn. He's been assigned to Group 2 and is in training right now. He's scheduled to attend the Massachusetts Career Recruit Fire Academy beginning on May 10th. That's a 10-week program. He should be graduating in late July, which time he will be back with us as a part of the regular firefighting force. We also had another firefighter resign in February due to personal reasons. That still leaves us in the same position with 3 vacant firefighter slots right now. And the current existing civil service list has really been exhausted. It's, beyond its expected life, and there are really no local candidates left on it at all. They are expecting a new firefighter eligibility list to be established sometime this month, hopefully within the next week or two. Of course, that's been significantly delayed due to the pandemic. As soon as this list is posted, we'll commence the hiring process to hopefully fill these 3 vacant slots. My understanding is, speaking to other chiefs and other departments in the area, there's a lot of departments that are in the same position as we are. They've been holding off, attempting to fill positions, waiting for the new list to come out. So in turn with that, they're expecting probably a longer delay in getting recruits into the firefighting academy, which may result in an extended period before they become regular members of our force here. I'm going to work with the director of personnel to attempt to get these positions filled as soon as that list is posted. We also still have 1 lieutenant on extended injury leave since back in 2019. Still working his way through the retirement process. Again, this has been significantly delayed due to the pandemic. And of course, due to these issues that I just talked about, the overtime expenditures continue to be very high, mainly driven by just backfilling these vacant slots. We're in the negative in the overtime budget, which is not unusual for the fire department around this time of year. And we still, at this point, we haven't had any reimbursements from the CARES Act due to backfilling COVID leave. So we're still waiting on that. The auditor's working on that. As far as fleet update on our vehicles, the new 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe is now in service as Car One, the fire chief's vehicle. And also the repairs and maintenance budget has taken some additional significant hits due to major unexpected repairs. Our combination 4, which is a 2011 Sutphen 75-foot ladder truck, had a $6,200 repair back in December. There was an issue with leaks in the rear airbag suspension system, which is a time-consuming repair because they had to take apart a lot of the back suspension components. The axle and had to be dropped out of the truck to facilitate those repairs. They also, while they were doing that, they did some other more minor repairs and some scheduled maintenance also. And the total bill on that was $6,200. The other major repair we've had lately is Rescue 3, the 2018 Ford ambulance. We had a $5,200 repair on that, which included a new hydraulic brake booster pump, new power steering pump, front, upper, and lower ball joints, as well as other regular maintenance items. The truck has 40,000 miles on it at this point, so the front end work, the ball joints, is not totally out of the realm of work needed, but just not quite to the extent that we thought it was going to be. Update on our grants. I have turned in the application for the fiscal year 2020 FEMA Assistance to Firefighters grant, also known as the AFG grant. This year we applied for replacement of the fire alarm system at the fire headquarters building on City Hall Avenue. The system here is original to the building, which dates back to 1978. It's well overdue for replacement. It's also an item that is listed on the city capital improvement plan. So that's classified as a micro grant, which is under $50,000. We've been very successful. Again, Chief Aries turned in some great applications over the past few years, and we got some major equipment upgrades here at the fire department. This is something else that would classify as a high priority project under the AFG guidelines. So we'll see how that goes. There again, the 2020 grant program is behind schedule because of the pandemic. They're anticipating it picking up a little bit of pace with the awards coming out hopefully by July, they're saying. And then right on the heels of that, the application period for the fiscal year 21 grant will open. We also have the fiscal year 2021 Massachusetts State Firefighter Safety Equipment Grant. We're expecting awards to be issued on that shortly. We applied for several hydrant valves and also intake valves for our pumpers that will replace older equipment. And they are a different design. They're slow open and close valves, which are designed to help protect the city's hydrant and water system from water hammer and that type of thing when hydrants get open. The South Gardner Fire Station boiler, Royal Steam has provided a rough estimate for the cost to replace that boiler, which failed the state inspection back in the fall. The estimate came in between $60,000 and $70,000, which includes significant asbestos remediation, a new zoned oil-fired boiler, new oil tank, and associated electrical equipment. We're going to have to look at a funding mechanism for that and how to move forward with that in the near future. The fire headquarters roof repair. The roof here at the City Hall Avenue building has developed additional leaks. It's a standing seam metal roof original to the construction of the building back in 1978. It's been problematic here for many years. The building commissioner and I recently did an inspection of the roof, and we're working on a report, and he's going to make recommendations on whether the roof is repairable at this point or we should pursue replacement. The last work that was done on the roof here was a project to fix leaks back in 2011. It was $18,000 spent on that at that time. And again, the roof replacement here is been on the capital improvement plan for a while now. Some other updates for the capital improvement plan. Addition to the facilities project mentioned above, there are several fire apparatus that are listed on the plan. These include Engine 1, the 1996 E1 pumper, Rescue 1, 1996 Ford E1 heavy rescue truck, and Tower 1, the 2002 E1 95-foot tower ladder. These are, three aging apparatus. At this point, they're all in fair condition. All of them are going to be very expensive to replace down the road. And I just think I'm kind of putting it out there that we probably should be looking towards the future to develop a plan to schedule and fund replacing them over the next several years in order to spread the cost out so they don't all come up at one time and have a extremely large project. And also, from the time funding is approved for a new truck until through the specification process and construction process, it usually takes well over a year before we actually see the vehicle here in the city. Just to kind of give you a little time frame of where we'd be looking at moving down the road. And the pandemic update for us, the recent surge that we experienced over the last few months has definitely stabilized around here. The fire department continues to treat and transport confirmed and suspected COVID-19 patients in the ambulances. We continue to follow the strict personal protective equipment protocols and disinfection procedures. And the good news is that no firefighters have been required to quarantine at all for the past several weeks. And also vaccines for all interested fire and EMS workers in the city have been given out at this point. And I believe that everybody that took the first shot has gotten a second one. So we're in pretty good shape there. And the surge has settled down, and it's been much easier to work our way through here the last few weeks. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. If there's any questions.
Councilor Tyrus, any questions?
Yes, thank you, Chief, for the updates, and congratulations to everyone moving
you.
up the promotions. One question was with the state inspection for the South Gardner Fire Station boiler. Did they give us a deadline or a specific timeline to meet compliance by?
They did. They, if I remember correctly, by state law, after a failed inspection, that boiler is not supposed to be operated after 30 days. And we're well beyond that at this point. I mean, we kind of have to keep the building heated. So, you know, at this point, I would say we are, you know, we're out of compliance there. It's, you know, it's going to be an expensive job to replace that. Of course, the asbestos remediation is a good chunk of that money. And, you know, we still use that building, you know, rather extensively. It's not staffed, but it's definitely needed for storage of apparatus and equipment.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations again on your promotion and the promotion of our other members. And
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Of course. Moving on to our other agenda item, which was application. Hold on. Application 10400, an application by Blake Motors for a license to buy and sell secondhand motor vehicles class 2 on 412 Main Street. Chief Brax has already provided his update regarding this application. They have no issue with it. So Clerk, have you had any input from anyone else that would work against this application?
I haven't gotten anything else, but Roland had a letter. Like, did you have some concerns about it?
About this application, Commissioner Jean?
Or Blake Motors? I haven't received anything else.
Yeah, Commissioner Jean?
There's been no request for zoning review for this application. This is a brand new application. It's not a renewal. The zoning review would be required for that. We've had no documentation presented to us, nor any request for a zoning review. So at this time, I cannot approve this application.
Okay. Is your approval required before it goes before the City Council?
If it goes before the City Council and the council approves it, there will most certainly be a zoning violation there that will need to be dealt with. It would be prudent to make sure that what didn't happen.
Okay. With that said, then perhaps we look for a motion to request more time on this application.
All right.
Councilor Tyros?
Quick question, actually, Mr. Chairman. The Commissioner Jean, is the zoning renewal requirement due to an address change, or is it in a different zoning? I saw on the property card it's zone commercial. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more for us?
It's just a different location, and it needs to be, the zoning needs to be part of the approval process so that we don't end up with, the picture that was part of the application shows the lot is 44 feet wide. And it shows parking spaces on both sides of the lot. Well, zoning requires a 24-foot moving lane. So by the time you take the 24 feet out of that parking lot, it's not possible to put cars on both sides and comply with zoning. Now, he could apply for zoning relief if he still wants to do that. He has options, but at this point, he's not presented this office with any documentation nor asked for the zoning review.
Yes, Councilor Tyros?
Would it be possible for us to reach out through the clerk to this business to, it looks like there's some confusion over renewal versus a new application for a license, correct? Yeah. So reach out to the business owner, because I know this application came in, it looks like at the end of February. So the building's been completely redone. It's really taken an eyesore to a beautiful location. So we'd like to see that in the city and like to help move things along with some of these requirements.
Sure.
All right. Councilor Tyros, do you have a motion on a recommendation for this application at this time?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I motion we ask for more time on this item.
I will second that. Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll on that motion?
Councilor Cormier,
Yes.
Councilor Tyros,
Yes.
Approved. Do we have any other new business, Councilor Tyros?
I'd like to thank everyone for their updates and hard work over these past few months, especially conducting work and serving the citizens through the pandemic. And that's all I have this evening. Stay safe, everyone. And sorry, it's not evening, it's day. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day and stay safe. Happy Friday.
And I'd like to second that. Thank you, everyone, for your updates. And thank you for all the work that you have done yourselves, as well as the people in your department going out and keeping the city safe and working in these difficult times. I feel like, especially with the vaccination protocols we've been doing, that our city seems to be ahead of some of the other cities in Massachusetts as far as way we've dealt with things, and I give all of you credit for a lot of that. So I thank you and all of your employees for all your work during this time. That said, I will take a motion for adjournment.
Motion adjourn.
Second. Clerk, could please call the roll?
Councilor Cormier,
Yes.
Councilor Tyros.
Yes.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.